Next question is, do we have to teach the students how to practice? Yes. And here's how you do that. You model practicing with a visual of what they're supposed to do. So we actually sell a chart, if you don't want to make your own, of what the steps are that you can put up. But you give students answer keys for a page, any page, and then you be the student. And then you choose a student to be your checker. And you're going to model, you're going to have them model how to do the correction. So what you do first is you review the correction, then you model like being a student, and you make errors. So they have to use the correction, right? And you keep working with that student until you get a perfect correction from that student. Then you rinse and repeat with another student. So you just go on to another student and review the correction, work with them until they give you a perfect correction, and then you go to another student. And you do this for 10 minutes. Your usual rocket math time, no longer than that. On the next slide, we're going to practice doing this. So you're actually going to get to be my students. So we're going to practice correction procedures. This poster is your reference. Go ahead and get out page 9. And can I have your page 7 to work from?
Yes.
Inside. Good. Okay. And you all have page 9 out, which is the answer key for set G. So I'm the teacher, you're the students. I'm teaching you how to practice. Okay? So steps of the correction procedure there. I need a volunteer to be my checker while I'm being the student. I'm being the student because I have just this. Yes, tell me your name again.
Teresa.
Teresa. Okay, Teresa. Before we start, let's go over the steps. So when do you correct me? Oh, Teresa.
If there's a 1 second hesitation or a wrong answer, or you read the question in the wrong order.
Yep. So if I read it the wrong way, or I hesitate, or I give you the wrong answer. Okay. If you self-correct, same thing. If you hesitate, you say the wrong thing, and you correct it again. Yep, that's right. You still want to go through that rehearsal procedure because obviously that's a little shaky. Okay. So when I make a hesitation or an error, Teresa, what do you do first?
I say the question. I just say the question. Y times 5 equals 69.
Yeah. So you say the problem and the answer. Good. Okay. And then what's the next step?
Say it 3 times.
You tell me to say it 3 times. I repeat it 3 times. Then what's the next step?
Go back. I tell you to go back 3 questions.
Okay, good. So I just reviewed the procedures with the student. Okay, now I'm going to go do this. So y times 5 is?
Y times 5 is 69.
Thank you.
Say it 3 times.
Y times 5 is 69. Y times 5 is 69. Y times 5 is 69.
Go back 3, please.
1, 2, 3. That takes me to 3 times y is 21.
3 times y is 41.
41.
Say it 3 times.
3 times y is 41. 3 times y is 41. 3 times y is 41.
Go back 3.
1, 2, 3. Y times 3 is probably 41 too.
Yeah.
5 times y is 69.
5 times y is 69.
5 times y is 69. 5 times y is 69. 5 times y is 69.
Go back 3.
1, 2, 3. Y times 5 is 69. Now, pause a little aside here. You notice I'm working backwards, right? Doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff, right? It goes around in a circle. Doesn't matter. I'm still working on what I need to work on to learn. The other aside is, I haven't done this workshop in a while, I forgot what that was, okay? It doesn't matter. because she's going to tell me. If I don't know, she'll tell me. And I get to say it 3 times and practice it and learn it. And so, so you don't have to worry about, oh, do we have to teach these facts before they start practicing? No, the practice is set up to do that. Now, mind you, my checker's got to be paying attention. My checker has to have the answer key or it doesn't work right. And I've been in many classrooms where, they don't have answer keys, or they're just sitting there, but the checker's not listening, and the kid's just mumbling to themselves. Well, that's not working that way. That's not going to work. You have to have the corrective feedback. But even if you've completely forgotten these facts, the corrective feedback, the way it's set up, will teach it to you. Okay, whenever there's a dispute, here's the rule. The checker's always right. Teach that rule. The checker's always right. And they go, teacher, what's the rule? Checker's always right? Yeah, you got it. Yes?
So with us, we say, because our kids are going really fast,
Mm-hmm.
in the facts we say stop. Is that okay?
You can. It's not the end of the world to say stop, but that's not enough. You got to say the correct problem and answer. 5 times y is 69. 9 times 2 is 18. 3 times y is 41. 5 times y is 69, and so on. Okay? So I've gotten perfect corrections from her, right? So what do I do next? Rinse and repeat. Okay? So I take another student to be my checker. So I'll take another volunteer because this is on camera, so I don't want anybody to be embarrassed. I have some really smart people here, so okay, good. Tell me your name again. Steph. Oh, that's why somebody else has that name. Yeah. Steph. All right, before we start, I got to go over the steps. So when do you correct me?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
When you make a mistake, hesitation, or
Mistake or hesitation or say it wrong. Okay, good. And what do you do when I make a mistake or a hesitation? What's the correction?
Tell you the correct answer, make you repeat it, go back.
Mm-hmm. Good. Make me repeat it 3 times. Okay, good. All right. So here I go. 69, 69, 41.
Stop. Y times 5 equals 69. Say it 3 times.
Good. Okay. Very important piece. As a teacher, you want to model the error of trying to get away with just saying answers. Okay? So that all of your kids get the experience and hear other kids treating that as a mistake, saying the whole problem and the answer and just doing that. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have some domineering girl in your class, and some fraidy cat little boy is, paired up with her. And she's going to just go, I'm not saying these stupid things. I'm just going to say answers because I'll go faster. Now, mind you, that's dumb, but you know how Jill is. She's not that bright, but she's pretty tough on the playground. So he's not going to argue with her, right? He's afraid to argue with her, except if you've modeled that what you do when somebody just says the answers is you make them start over. And so if you've done that 10 times in front of the class, then he can do it with Jill without being afraid. And so it's very important to model all those kinds of errors. So you did great. You jumped in, you said the answer, and let's what else do we do? Oh, so I have to say it 3 times,
Yeah.
right? Y times 5 is 69, y times 5 is 69, y times 5 is 69.
Go back 3.
1, 2, 3. 3 times y is 41. 5 times y is 69. Y times 3 is 41. Y times 5 is 69, and so on. Okay? So you just do this for the 10 minutes. Then the next day you do it for 10 minutes. The next day you do it for 10 minutes, and so on. Right? So make sure you model not saying the whole problem and answer. Model hesitations, not just errors. So here's a question. So you should do it for 10 minutes, 1 day, 2 days. Well, how many days? How long should you model with your students? So this is a teacher question, right? As a teacher, think about you're modeling to teach something. So the question is, when have they learned it? How do you know when they've learned it? When they practice it perfectly. When every student you call on, even Jeremy and Jill, who don't always get things, even they do it perfectly without any prompting. Now, be mindful. Sometimes, they forget the middle step and you prompt them. You should say to yourself, okay, we're not ready yet. Don't turn them loose. You don't turn them loose until you know that no matter who you call on, they'll be able to do the correction perfectly. So it's going to take several days of that to get there, depending on the age of your class and so on. But it's absolutely crucial because the time spent getting them to do this correction perfectly means the rest of the year they're going to actually be learning. But if you shortchange that, and then you go around your class and you see they're not doing the corrections right, you're wasting rocket math time, because they're not getting corrected the way they should. You got to really hammer the hesitation thing, because they're reluctant to correct hesitations unless you really point that out. Now, they should understand, and you can certainly pitch them on this, that, listen, a correction is not bad. A correction is, oh, we found something to help you learn. This is one you need to practice a little bit more. And therefore, we should give you time to do that.